Across Central America, a bold plan is emerging, one that could reshape global trade. China's proposed $50 billion Nicaragua Canal aims to rival the legendary Panama Canal, carving a massive new waterway for the world's largest ships. This isn't just about construction, it's about shifting economic power and influence in the 21st century, but with such ambition comes controversy and immense challenges. Imagine a waterway that would forever change the map of Central America. The Nicaragua Canal, if built, would stretch an astonishing 173 miles, beginning at the Pacific Ocean, slicing through the heart of the country, and passing directly through the vast expanse of Lake Nicaragua, the largest freshwater lake in Central America. This ambitious project would carve a new path for global shipping, offering an alternative to the world-famous Panama Canal. The canal's journey would end at the Caribbean Sea, opening a direct link between two mighty oceans and promising to transform Nicaragua into a pivotal hub for international trade. Unlike the Panama Canal, which has long been the region's maritime gateway, the Nicaragua Canal would be nearly 4 times longer. Its design is bold, engineered specifically for the next generation of ultra-large container ships, vessels so massive they simply can't squeeze through Panama's locks, even after recent expansions. The grand vision doesn't stop at the canal itself. The plan calls for the construction of 2 state-of-the-art deep-water ports, one on each coast, capable of handling the world's largest ships. There's also a proposed free trade zone, a modern international airport, and a network of supporting infrastructure. This includes an integrated logistics hub, highways, railways, and sprawling facilities designed to streamline the movement of goods and people, turning Nicaragua into a logistical powerhouse. At the center of this colossal undertaking is the HKND Group, a company backed by Chinese investors. They hold a 50-year concession to build and operate the canal, with the possibility of extending it for another half-century, an unprecedented commitment to reshaping global trade. But such a project comes with enormous challenges. Construction would require moving billions of cubic meters of earth, rerouting rivers, and building massive locks. Entire communities could be displaced, and the canal's path would cut through fragile ecosystems, threatening endangered wildlife and the livelihoods of local people. Years of delays, funding uncertainties, and environmental concerns have slowed progress, leaving the future of the canal in doubt. In this vacuum, a new competitor has emerged: Mexico's interoceanic corridor. This $50 billion megaproject aims to connect the Pacific and Atlantic coasts of Mexico, not by water, but by a high-speed network of railways and highways, offering a modern land-based shortcut for global trade. Trains and trucks would carry cargo across the narrow isthmus of Tehuantepec, bypassing the need for a canal altogether and providing shippers with a faster, more flexible route. The rivalry between these two grand visions, one a monumental feat of engineering, the other a modern logistics corridor, underscores the region's race to become the next global trade gateway, with billions of dollars and the future of shipping at stake. The dream of a new route connecting the world's oceans is very much alive. But as the competition heats up, the ultimate shape of this dream, and who will control the future of global trade, remains an open question. For more than 100 years, the Panama Canal has stood as one of the world's most vital trade shortcuts, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and revolutionizing global shipping. Its construction was a marvel of engineering, and for generations, it has enabled ships to avoid the long, perilous journey around South America's Cape Horn. But today, this legendary waterway faces an unprecedented crisis that threatens its very future. Severe droughts, driven by shifting climate patterns, have dramatically lowered the water levels in the lakes that feed the canal. As a result, the number of ships allowed to pass through each day has plummeted from 36 to as few as 24, creating a massive bottleneck. Ships are now forced to wait for weeks just to enter the canal, causing major delays. Global supply chains are stalling, and shipping costs are skyrocketing as companies scramble to reroute cargo or pay premium fees to secure passage. The canal's vulnerability to climate change has exposed a critical weakness in the world's logistics network, highlighting just how dependent global trade has become on this single, narrow passage. This crisis is now accelerating the search for alternatives. Governments and private companies are investing in new canal and overland corridor projects, hoping to create backup routes and reduce the risk of future disruptions. The world is waking up to the reality that it can no longer rely on a single shortcut for its most important trade flows. Alternative routes like the Suez Canal and even Arctic passages are being explored and expanded. The race to secure a new, reliable route for global trade is on, and the outcome will shape the future of shipping for decades to come. China's push for a new canal is about more than trade. It's about control and influence. As the world's top exporter, China needs secure, efficient routes for its goods, especially to the US East Coast and Europe. A new canal would let China bypass US-dominated waters, cut shipping times, and deploy its largest ships. It fits China's Belt and Road Initiative, expanding its reach into America's backyard. By investing billions, China gains leverage with host countries and cements its presence in Latin America. The canal is both a trade lifeline and a geopolitical statement. For China, it's an investment in global power. A new canal or land corridor would transform global shipping, creating a seismic shift in how goods move across the globe. Drawing traffic from existing routes and redrawing trade maps, this new pathway would become a critical artery in the global supply chain. Shipping lines, ports, and manufacturers would adapt to new realities, reconfiguring their logistics and operations to align with the new route. With megaships heading straight to the US East and Gulf coasts, these regions would see a surge in maritime activity and economic growth. Free trade zones and industrial parks along the route could spark economic booms and create thousands of jobs, revitalizing local economies. Nearshoring could turn the host nation into a manufacturing and logistics hub, attracting investment and boosting industrial output. Ports would race to expand, investing heavily in infrastructure to accommodate the increased traffic in larger vessels. Meanwhile, West Coast gateways might lose ground, facing reduced traffic and economic activity as shipping patterns shift. Two competing routes would add resilience and competition, stabilizing global supply chains and reducing dependency on any single pathway. Disruptions in Panama would no longer paralyze world trade, as alternative routes would provide necessary flexibility. The world's economic geography would be forever changed, ushering in a new era of global trade dynamics and opportunities. The promise of a new canal comes with steep obstacles. Environmental risks loom large. Lake Nicaragua's ecosystem and drinking water are at stake. Dredging could pollute the lake and threaten rare species. Tens of thousands of people, including indigenous communities, face displacement. Protests and delays have already plagued the project. Securing $50 billion in funding is a massive challenge, with investors wary of risks and returns. Engineering a 300-kilometer channel through jungle and volcanic soil is a daunting task. Overcoming these hurdles will require extraordinary resolve and luck. Panama's troubles have sparked a regional race to build the next great trade route. Mexico's rail-based corridor is gaining traction, while Honduras, Costa Rica, and others pitch their own projects. Competing visions and international backers, from China to the US, turn Central America into a strategic battleground. Each project is a bid for economic power and regional influence. The future may hold not one, but several new routes, creating a resilient network for global trade. The drought in Panama has unleashed a wave of innovation and ambition. The outcome will shape the flow of goods and the balance of power for decades to come.